Welcome to the July 15, 2026 Umatilla County Board of Commissioners meeting. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. I do want to remind everyone that our Board of Commissioner meeting is recorded and is available virtually. Public comment is welcome. If you do have public comment, we do ask you to keep that to 3 minutes. And please, when you approach the podium, your name and address. Thank you. So at this time, awards, recognitions, and correspondence. Commissioner Timmons? Commissioner Schaefer?
I have none.
I have two things. One, I do want to make a note that I lost a personal friend, and the community and the county and even the state lost a personal friend last Friday when Tim Hawkins passed away. And he was a pillar of the community, a past man of the year here in Pendleton, a grand marshal of the Umatilla County, or the Pendleton Roundup Parade. Also a past president of the Pendleton Roundup, and many, many other things, including president of Pendleton Grain Grower Board of Directors and others. So I just wanted to note his passing. That will leave a big void in this community for sure. The next one is, I also want to thank him for his dedication to Umatilla County projects, such as he was a member of the Umatilla County Wolf Depredation Committee too. So also very, very much involved in the county. I have a letter here from the Umatilla County Cattlemen's Association, and I'm glad Tom's here to hear this. Dear Commissioners Doran, Schaefer, and Timmons, each year for the past 55 years, the Umatilla County Cattlemen's Association has gathered on Father's Day for our annual Father's Day picnic. The annual event provides an opportunity for members, family, guests, and industry supporters to celebrate Father's Day. The beef cattle industry in Umatilla County, and the month of May is National Beef Month. Over the years, we have selected a venue for this event in nearly every corner of the county, mostly on private-owned ranches, but occasionally or rarely at more public venues such as a park. This year, we decided to take our event to the northeast corner of the county. After sending out a small scouting committee of officers in search of a venue in the northeast corner of the county, Harris Park was selected as a site for the 2026 Father's Day picnic. It is safe to say that very, very, very few of our members' guests have ever ventured up the South Fork of the Walla Walla River to Harris Park. Wow, what a pleasant surprise we found. Harris Park is off the beaten path, but is a true gem of Umatilla County. Harris Park provided a gorgeous setting for our event and more amenities than we are accustomed to at most venues. The park manager host was most accommodating and was there to be sure our needs were met and that we had everything we needed for a successful event. We just wanted to say thank you to the Board of Commissioners in Umatilla County for protecting this little gem in the northeast corner of the county and for continuing to invest in it and its future. Thank you sincerely, Jack Taylor, President of the Umatilla County Cattlemen's Association. So, Tom, if you could have Kelsey get you a copy of that and pass that along. It's something that we already know, but to hear the general public bring it to our attention is that much more gratifying. Approval of minutes from June 2nd, June 22nd, and July 1st, 2026. What's the wishes of the board?
Move approval.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Additions to the agenda, Nick?
We did have one this morning, Commissioners. It would be just after item.
Purchase or it's a rental, right?
It's a rental, but approving
Okay.
the cost of it.
Gotcha.
It just was added this morning. It should show up online, but it wasn't on physical agenda.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Nick. Anything else from commissioners? Any additions? All right. At this time is what's reserved for public comments on items that are not on the agenda. If you have any public comments at this time, please come forward. Not seeing any, we'll move on straight to our business items. The first is a public hearing on the PATH CDBG project. And so at this time, I'm going to go out of the regular meeting into a public hearing. And Nick, you want to give us a rundown?
And just real quick, this is a public hearing at the close of the PATH project to assess the county's performance. Basics of it.
This is just for the CDBG grant.
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Any public comment on this subject, either for, against, or neutral? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll come back into our regular scheduled meetings. What's the wishes of the board?
We need to take action on that, Nick?
I think that you just need to discuss it, conduct a public hearing. I think that there's actually a motion or anything that needs to.
Okay. Any comments? Okay. Project complete. Thanks, Nick. Next is the sanitary disposal franchise agreement. This one is, the first one is for the unincorporated Umatilla County areas. This is
The way the orders have typically been set up and the motions have typically been set up in the past is that the disposal and the franchises. The way this one's structured. Looking at the board can go through.
and we can do them separately, right?
So right now, the way it's set up is the whole thing is one order. However, the rates are spelled out in the order. And all orders.
All right, so let's begin the discussion today. What sanitary disposal's request is a 14% increase in collections and a 14% increase in the costs at the transfer station. Let's start with comments from the request from Kevin's online.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you want to go ahead and make comments before we get started on this?
I really don't have anything now prior, from what we discussed in the other meetings.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. And just to give everybody a kind of a background, during our public work session yesterday, we had a lengthy discussion on the rates and where they are. The one question I had on the transfer station, Kevin, is when you went to the SWAC on the 14%, were they aware or had you implemented your reduction in service time at that point?
What are you referring to?
The reduction in hours?
I brought it up that the reroutes had gained some efficiencies, yes.
But that'd be on the collections, but what about the transfer station?
I'm not sure that the transfer station has a serious reduction in hours. The hauling does for sure, because that's the driver piece, but
Yeah, that's the collections. But the transfer station and the reduction of the hours the hours that it's open, were those discussed with the SWAC?
I don't believe so. They may have been, I don't remember.
Okay.
I was looking through the franchise and I didn't see anything in there that that required me to let anybody know that when it comes to the hours. And we're still open 7 days a week, which not all transfer stations are in Umatilla County.
No, just was wondering if you guys mentioned that you went through your expenses with a SWAC, and I just was curious if that was part of the discussion.
I don't remember if that came up.
Just, just so you know, Kevin, John stepped away. I guess
I'm not sure what's going
did
on.
he go get? He may have went and got the paperwork that Bob gave us.
Okay.
I guessed right. You went and got the spreadsheet from Bob, right?
I got the one that they handed out to us, the other day.
Okay. So, just to get a little bit of background on our discussions yesterday, we had a pretty lengthy, during the public work session, or pretty lengthy discussion on rates, on the increases, the historical increases in the last 4 years since sanitary disposal waste connections purchased Hermiston Sanitary disposal. There's a lot of concern over the large amount of increase in the requests and those that have been granted. Again, even referring back to last year, a 15% increase. And then the request from sanitary disposal waste connections this year of 14%. You guys want to jump in, or do you want me to just keep going and we'll start from there?
Well, I actually, that's probably gonna be an unpopular opinion, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and make the motion just for argument's sake. I would propose that we move to increase at 7%, which is half of what they're asking, and that would put their can rate at $30.88 for the 90-gallon can a month, and the can rate for, to put it into perspective, the city of Hermiston is $30.07, so this would be about 81 cents more than that. The city of Pendleton is $35.85, so Pendleton's quite a bit higher. So I think this would kind of get them closer to the ballpark. So I'd move to increase it at 7%.
I was hoping we'd have a discussion and not a motion yet, but
Well, you
I'm
can
not
always
gonna.
second the motion and then have the discussion after that.
We can amend it if we need to.
Yeah.
okay. All right, I'll go ahead and second it. I'm gonna disagree with you, respectfully. But what I see is CPI right now, it's actually at 3.5%. It was at 4.2%, and it has dropped in the last month or so. Anyway, 3.5. I know the discussion at the work meeting was 4.2. So I think that we should split the difference, 4%. If we do a 4% increase, then that puts them in line with the rates on the west side of the county.
So a 4% increase to that. Let me see what that would do.
Yeah, it would put them in the neighborhood with the west side of the county.
Well, while John's doing that, I'm kind of going to repeat a little bit of what I said yesterday. I think that the business model is different between the cities and the counties.
Mm-hmm.
We have people that have to move cans a long ways, and that gets to be more and more fixed. The other thing is that the ability for us to understand what's driving these massive increases is still opaque. And
I agree.
in my mind, nobody buys a business and then asks for a 50+% increase in 4 years. That's just mind-boggling to me. I agree that in the business, I agree that they need adjust their rates. I'm not saying they don't need to adjust their operations also. But we don't have a clear view of that. That's what we're being asked to raise rates on. It's not a clear operational view. My thoughts yesterday were to have a third party look at the numbers. I did call a couple of the local people. I think it could be done. But I agree with both of you guys that a rate needs to be done right away. I'm not comfortable with 7.
Like I said, I knew it was going to be unpopular, but
Yeah,
when I'm looking at the rest of the west side, Umatilla is at $30.81. Stanfield's $30.97. Echo $31.87. This puts us right at 7%. Puts us right there. We're at 30.88 at 70 cents or at 7%. So I mean, we're below. We'd still be below Echo, Stanfield. We're within 7 cents of Umatilla. Hermiston is the only one that would be low, and that's $30.07. So, but in comparison to the west side, that puts us right there.
yeah, I don't disagree with the numbers. It's how we got to the decision is more of my challenge.
Sure, understood.
Here's where I am. Whatever you two land on for a real number, whether 7, 4, 5, 6, I'll support that. However, I think that we still, whether it be through internal or a third party, and I'm not asking for that vote today, I think that instead of waiting till March, April of next year to start the process, that we start the process of having a real in-depth look at books soon. I mean, like September, October, we start that process so we can determine where we really are. I feel like we're jumping off of a diving board, not knowing how deep the water is below us or how far away it is. And
Hey, Dan?
yeah,
Can everybody hear me? Waste Connections is 100% on board going that direction. We'd like to confirm that once the findings come in of where we're at, that you would accept the full amount.
well, I as long as you accept our opportunity to tell you how to operate.
Well, I'm just saying we've went through this process, you know, we have corporate accountants, we've done it, we went through SWAC and, you know, and so for us to go through this process, which we have no issue doing, because we've already dissected our financials, you know, with you last year, that we would just request that since we were going to do this on a third party, that you would accept the findings.
Well, again, there's no doubt that we would accept the findings, but if the findings show that you doubled your staff in the office and had rollover of drivers, I mean, do we have input on that too?
Well, I won't say what's on my mind.
I get it. That's where we are, Kevin.
Yeah, it just feels like we're just continuing to kick the can down the road for the end result is going to be the same as what we've been saying. And, you know, even you sat down with our numbers last year with your
Absolutely.
calculator and you were going over it and, you know, we still aren't making a reasonable margin. But I understand that you have to do what you do on your end to protect what you have going on, and I completely respect that. And I think that going to a third party is going to show that we're right in line with what we're asking.
So that's where I am. And
So
Whether it's a third party or if we have enough time, we can do it internally.
I just think that, at some point, we just have to stop the bleeding. And as far as, we keep raising these rates and raising these rates, and, who's getting hit hard are the customers.
Absolutely.
And people are hurting right now. And I just don't think we can sit here and they asked for 14, we gave them 7. Last time they asked for 30, we gave them 15. And so, no, absolutely not. I think that at 4%, we're above CPI. I think we're being very generous. We put them in the ballpark with the west side of the county. And I think that that's something that we can hold our head up and, meet the folks that are actually paying this bill. And because I understand that sanitary disposal has to run in the black. I get that. But I am with you, Dan, too, is that, there's obviously been some practices that have been questionable. And people are seeing that.
I have a hard time, even at 4%, which again, I'll support, or the 7, whatever you guys kind of, but my point is, that's in 2 years, a request for 22% increase.
Mm-hmm.
We did ask 2 years ago for the full 37.5%, which would have ripped the Band-Aid off, and then we would be talking about CPI right now.
Yeah, there was nothing that justified 37%, Kevin, but not to rehash history.
We agree to disagree, Dan.
So I hear both sides of the argument. I really do. My biggest fear is if we don't do something, they go away on the west end. Then what do we do?
Put it out to bid.
What if we split the difference and went 5.5%? That'd still put us below the city of Umatilla, city of Stanfield, and city of Echo. We'd still be less than what those 3 entities are.
I'm not going to go higher than 4%.
I mean, even
We're
going
being
less,
generous there.
even going less than what those cities are density based. That's why their prices are so low. Everything we do in Umatilla County, it's 5 miles in between stops. It costs more to pick up stops in Umatilla County versus picking up 4,000 stops in the city of Hermiston. That's just the way it is on that. The miles that we put in, the wear and tear on the trucks is just significantly more in the county than it is in the more densely populated towns.
Earlier, you said questionable practices. What do you mean by that?
Well, brand new vehicles that everybody can see, brand new trucks. And Kevin and I have talked about this. I mean, you don't buy a business and come in and buy all new equipment, and then you have your customers going, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, why are we having to pay for all of this? And the amount, it just keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah, I mean, buying new trucks is part of any transportation business. You have to buy trucks. You just can't continue with a 1989 garbage truck that has a 10-year life expectancy. I mean, and those prices are put on to the customers because it's part of the business. I mean, Waste Connection, Sanitary, we're no different from all the companies out there. It's all, I mean, yes, we buy new trucks, and a portion of that is the cost is put on the customer. That is, what the rate is paying for, portions
rate-
of it.
Kevin, I think the point is you bought a company. We don't have a view into the depreciation schedules on your equipment. We trust that you did your fiduciary background check, your financials when you made the purchase. And if they were making 10% when you bought them, now you need over a 50% increase to get back to 10%. Those are two major management conflicts.
Well, we're also.
Now, I agree. Your depreciation schedule on equipment may be different than theirs was. All of those different things. But you're putting it on, those differences, we're now putting on the backs of the consumer.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but you also just can't run with old equipment. Stuff has to be updated. That doesn't even make sense. The cost has to be.
Nobody's saying you don't have to have new equipment. But there had to be a depreciation schedule in on the equipment when you bought the company. I mean, I wasn't privy to the books. You guys made that decision. Not me, not us.
And I guess where I'm coming from, Kevin, and I've told you this before, is I've actually watched somebody come in and pay their electric or pay their garbage bill. They couldn't afford to pay it all at once. And so they had to split it up. And they were there, in the middle of the month, and they were hoping to get back by the end of the month. And it was an older gentleman. And that has just stuck with me because, like I said, I mean, and people are, things are tight for folks right now. And then on top of that, they're watching the new trucks go by. When, whoa, wait a minute. And
Yeah,
so, and so I guess that's where I'm coming from is I'm looking at it from, grandma and grandpa out there just trying to get by, and we just keep upping the rates. And
Yeah,
you know what?
I
I don't know if you're getting the calls, but we certainly do.
So
And-
what do you say to the customers that are across the street that are paying more than what our customers are paying because they're in the same position paying a higher bill? You look at, whatever Pendleton's, charging for Umatilla County, that's clearly higher than what we're paying. So for me, I want it to be fair. I'm not thinking that it's fair that somebody across the street's paying $5 more than me and
That may, as you don't understand what our position is, that makes no sense to us because those municipalities have a different franchise fee schedule than we do. And
I'm talking apples to apples. So I'm talking Pendleton, Umatilla County, Sanitary, Umatilla County.
Sure.
I'm not talking Pendleton. When I say Pendleton, I mean the disposal company, not the town proper. I'm comparing Umatilla County rates that Pendleton charges and the Umatilla County rates that Sanitary disposal charges.
Gotcha.
I get that, that things are tight, but we have people that are paying that extra $5, versus somebody across the street who isn't.
Oh, got it, Kevin. Nick,
Shane online has her hand up.
Shane Lilly right there. I see it.
uh,
Shane Lilly.
Shane Lilly, please name, address, and your comment, please.
She came off mute.
Put her hand down.
It's still up. There.
Oh.
Can you hear
Maybe,
me?
can you hear us?
Maybe if you can call in.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, Shayna.
Sorry, Shayna Lilly, 456 23rd Longview, Washington. We very much recognize the burden that this puts on our fixed income members of our community. And last year, part of our due diligence was not to increase our services for the senior citizens that have the senior citizen rate. We would be willing to do that again this year, right? So we do understand they're on a fixed income. So the 14% or the 15% last year, we didn't raise their rates, and we'd be willing to continue to do the same.
How many was that, Shana?
Oh, I'd have to go back and pull up the data.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing that correctly. You're saying you would not increase it for seniors?
Correct, and we did the same thing last year.
I'd be curious on what the number, how do you establish that, Shana?
Well, we have a specific rate in our system that notates senior services, and that rate we didn't apply it to.
Wow, I need to sign up.
Yeah, so we have that specific rate because we do understand we have members of our community on a fixed income, and we do not want to hurt those people whatsoever.
So is that comes from clients or customers that call in? I appreciate that. I hadn't heard that.
Yep.
I didn't know that either.
That was news to me.
So if they call in, is that something you publish or the?
That should be one of our published rates.
But again, how does that come in? Do I call you and say, hey, I'm a senior citizen or I'm on a fixed income, or how does that get implemented?
So all we need to do is customers to call in, and then we just verify age, and then we can apply that rate.
I don't see that.
I don't see it on here.
Just out of curiosity, what's the age?
I believe it's 65.
What did she say?
6'5" or 5'5"?
65.
Oh, you're still not a qualifier yet.
You're good to go.
I don't see it on your published rates.
Yeah, I don't see it on there.
That's interesting because I have it on my rate schedule right here. Let me pull it back up.
I really appreciate that, Shana. I'm really interested to see how many take advantage of that.
Well, and we can always, if you get those calls, we can direct people to utilizing that rate more and making sure that that is a published rate.
So if it didn't increase before, what is their rate?
Let me pull it right back up. Sorry, my computer is being a little finicky. Oh, come on. Sorry, 1 second. My computer is freezing up.
You're fine, Shane.
So while you're looking at that and waiting on that, is that for the 90-gallon cart or the 35-gallon cart?
For the 35-gallon cart.
35-gallon, okay.
Yep. And that rate is $16.97.
$16.97.
So it's the old rate. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, it says senior right there. One card
Oh,
senior.
yeah, I see it.
Yep.
Okay,
That's still
there it is. Second one down.
Cursor's right on. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Was that a rate that carried over from the previous owners? Must have been.
I believe
because
so.
it didn't change. I still didn't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. I didn't know it was theirs.
Well,
So
we
it's-
can add into the discussion of adding a 90-gallon to that as well. And
Although,
making sure that-
although a senior probably doesn't need a 95.
Yeah. Well, I'm a senior.
I wasn't going to say anything, Dan.
I'm glad you pointed that out, though. Thanks, Shannon. And it'd be curious when we go through the numbers to see what, like in the last 3 years, how many people have taken advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we could definitely publish on our
I
website.
would suspect that the number would increase the higher the rates go up. So
Yeah,
And then that,
people.
then you can approve the 14%.
I'm sorry, what did Kevin just say?
he cut out.
You can approve the 14% now. So we can be done with this and just go CPI from here on out.
We have a chore to do, that's for sure. We can't just, it's up to you guys. Where are we? 4 to 7.
After discussion, I would amend it to go to 5.5%, which would be $30.44 for a month for that rate. I'd be willing to do that.
And actually, I think that's a pretty good number, because when we start stripping numbers back, that'll be basically a baseline to work with. I like that. But the second needs to, if that's what she wishes to do.
Hmm.
Grandma and grandpa's rates don't change.
I see that. Okay. We go to 5. That's splitting the difference.
5.5 splits the difference.
5.
5.5.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to go above 4, honestly.
And I didn't want to go below 7. That's why I meant in the middle at 5.5. Meet me in the middle. It's still below everybody else in the west side except for Hermiston.
Okay.
And there is an agreement to start stripping numbers down.
Okay. All right. Second.
Hold it, no, you need to-
Oh. Okay, I want to,
So the way I would suggest doing this is amend.
Oh, we already have a motion and a second on the table.
And I can't remember.
Mine was started at 7 and I amended it to go to 5.5.
There.
Is that gonna, will that work?
Yeah, you can adopt it as
Second has to.
second.
Motion on the table is an amended motion to approve a rate increase for sanitary disposal for collections and transfer at 5.5%, with a understanding that there will be a review of numbers beginning no later than October, that could happen sooner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thanks, Shana. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
With the board, I would advise a motion to adopt the order with the rates, because I'll have to go back through and.
How about adopt the motion or the order with the amended motion?
Yeah, that'll be.
So moved.
Okay.
Okay, what? Back
So-
up.
We have to adopt this order, BCC 2026-036, with the amended price. Right? Okay.
We'll have to go back through and change the numbers.
That, because the order ought to be changed.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the order has the other price, the 14%.
Are you going to second, Cindy?
Yes, second.
Okay. There's been a motion to accept the order as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Shana. Next item on the agenda probably will take a little while. Dispatch payable, CAD maintenance, Captain Primer. Welcome.
Do us a solid here, KP.
Yes, it will be a lot better. I am before you to request payment for the annual maintenance and support services for the RIMS and IRIMS for Hermiston Police Department. The total bill was $14,725. Of this, $1,213 will be reimbursed to the county from Hermiston PD. That is the warranty add-ons, warranty and maintenance for their add-on components that they've had. That's been an agreement that we have across the board with all of our partners. And so in theory, they've asked that we pay the full amount, they'll reimburse us. So I'm looking for $14,725 today.
So moved.
Second.
Been a motion to second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay, there's your solid. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Umatilla County Sheriff's Office RFP jail floor. Dan?
Now you have to beat her time.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dan Lamai, Director of Administrative Services. Before you is an RFP to replace the jail kitchen floor, to remove the existing epoxy urethane floor that is deteriorated and replace it with new epoxy, urethane epoxy supports the ground of stone with the non-slick flooring. We're just requesting to go out for bid for the flooring there.
Wishes of the board?
Will approve us to go out.
Yes, I move to authorize issuance of requests for proposals for replacement of flooring for the jail kitchen.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Well done.
Next one, thank you, Commissioners, and the next one before you should be the licensing for the, or is there something in between? There is something.
No, there's
You're fine if you want to do the IT payable.
Yeah, if we can. So before you is a payable for $5,750 to Unitech Communications for our license renewal for our patrol access, basically the system that runs all of our FOBs. And this is a yearly budgeted amount that we do.
Which has
Approve payment.
Second.
been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, flashing.
Yeah.
Next is Sage. Good morning, Sage.
Sage Long, Emergency Manager for Umatilla County. Before you is a grant agreement through the Homeland Security, number 25231, in the amount of $48,040. This grant will fund the purchase of active threat response kits and rolling mass casualty kits throughout Umatilla County. Through our training and through the past 3 years, this is one of the standardizations that we're trying to complete. Putting these in county vehicles. Though they already have them, we're trying to standardize that equipment and just kind of refurb it. So this grant will run 2025, so last year, obviously with the delays, and into 2027. There's no match required. It's a reimbursement grant. So the action requested that we're looking for today is the approval of grant agreement 25231 with the Oregon Department of Emergency Management in the amount of $48,000.
I would move approval.
I will second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
He's
Sage.
gonna have quick clots and all that. And tourniquets
Yeah,
and-
so it's gonna have tourniquets, quick clots, and then the goal is to establish some larger mass casualty kits with our EMS partners.
Good.
And station those for any elected activities.
Good.
Thank you, Sage. Next on the item, next item is administrative services, signage.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Cragen, Administrative Services, Umatilla County.
Steve.
Before you is a cash quote for updating the signage in the basement of the courthouse. It is basically modernization of not only directional signage, but also room designations in the amount of $6,980. This was a project that went out for quotes on RFP, and we received one qualified respondent to that.
It doesn't hurt my feelings any that it's a local company. So
Went out with 2 local companies in Umatilla County, one in Washington, Tri-Cities, and then there was another company that sent an email out to 4. So it's in all 4 bids.
Perfect. The only question I have, that's all right. Wishes of the board.
I just want to comment, I think these signs are very attractive and much needed, that's for sure. So I move Let me see, what am I doing? I'm moving to approve the attached quote from Creative Signs for $6,980 for the Pendleton Courthouse basement signs.
Hold it.
Just for clarity, we did get a quotes.
Right.
Okay.
We didn't actually issue them.
Nope.
Okay.
Got it. You said, Joe.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Thank you.
I agree, Cindy. I think those signs are gonna look nice.
Next
Yeah.
one is the school-based student health center, FTE.
Morning, Commissioners. Alicia Lundgren, Deputy Director with the Public Health. The item that's before you is in regards to our Hermiston Student Health Center nurse practitioner position. This site opened in November of 2024 with a 0.8 FTE nurse practitioner position that follows the school schedule. They've been very successful in seeing lots of people over the last 2 years, which has included over 500 visits to over 300 people in just last school year, and similar numbers the school year before. Many of the families coming in prefer to have appointments either at the start or the end of the day, and our nurse practitioner proposed increasing our hours from an 8-hour day to a 9-hour day, so 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to better accommodate work that's already happening to serve families. This FTE increase in the cost associated with it has been approved by Hermiston School District and for the next fiscal year.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So no increase to the general fund.
No, this is all fully paid for through grants, insurance revenue, and then final balance at the end.
I just want to comment, what a nice service for families, especially if you're getting your sports physical and you have to get it at the last minute. I'm sure we've all lived through that one.
Yeah,
So
they actually get a lot of people in at the last minute, and there's been
Shocker.
yeah, not shocking. We're able to accommodate that. And we've had several students that, because this is on site at the high school and accessible where they're already transporting, we've had several students say that they previously hadn't been able to participate in sports. Family couldn't take them to a provider off work hours and stuff. So this has actually helped get students access.
Should have led with that.
yeah, believe me, you can remember doing that. Last minute, we need this sports physical. I move to increase the FTE of HSHC nurse practitioner position to 0.9 FTE.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next one is the nursing supervisor position. Is that correct?
Yes, and I do have some presentation slides where I can run through what is being proposed for this one, and those are. So this expansion for this position is part of expanding to Nurse Family Partnership expanded eligibility for our home visiting program, and it's utilizing our rural health transformation funding that we were awarded directly through OHA from program element 82. So this is not the Catalyst Awards that are separately, people have been separately applying for, but rather a carve out for local public health authorities. Our HTP, or rural health transformation funding, requires new or expanded programs, and as we were looking to apply for this money, eventually it kind of came through that it was going to be a direct award to public health authorities. Joe and I have been discussing what programs could be expanded or new that would generate additional, or that would be ready for expansion. And when we looked at home visiting, it was one that would actually look at generating revenue. The other programs might not have that same opportunity. So that's where we looked at focusing on Nurse Family Partnership as an opportunity for expansion. And it's also been an expansion ask of our community through our community advisory board, and puts us in alignment with all other Oregon Nurse Family Partnership programs that are on expanded eligibility as well. If you scroll to the next slide, this shows what the expanded eligibility is. This is that anyone living in Morrow and Umatilla County that qualifies for the Oregon Health Plan that enrolls anytime during pregnancy would be eligible to participate in this home-based nurse home visiting through baby turning 2. I've got some data on here from last fiscal year on who we're currently serving. And then I've got our projected budget for FY '27. These numbers look slightly different from the presentation I made in May, but it is based off of the adopted budget that went through. So currently our general fund support for this program in FY '27, just under $300,000.
I guess I'm a little bit surprised, Alicia, that only, and I guess could be anything else, but only 6 out of the 49 clients served were Spanish.
Yeah, really great question. I appreciate that. That's actually an increase from what it's been. Our home
Oh, wow.
visitors are not themselves bilingual. And so it does require the use of an interpreter for providing the service. And part of this proposal is going to be adding a community health worker that would be bilingual to better support Spanish-speaking families. And I would hope that that number would grow through that opportunity. But that is typically the barrier. Some families, when we kind of talk with them about how home visiting services could work and using that for interpretation, there's some limitations.
So is part of that's okay. I was going to ask if part of the services provided are a referral to English as a second language, or
They can.
I'm just curious if that's in the portfolio of what they bring.
Nurse Family Partnership is unique in that we solely base the work that we do off of what the goals of the family is. And so some of that has to do with health goals, some of that's economic goals, some of that is goals like what you're talking about as well, or helping clients to get their GED and finish school and get a job, get housing, get other resources. So any of the goals that the clients want.
So, how does this request fit in with the next two? Change.
Yeah, so this request, if it's approved in the second item, or if you want to look for the applying for the incentive fund, then that would be applicable. And then the final one is just our standard operating contract for continuing the Nurse Family Partnership Program, so.
So this is a standalone. But if we were to support the next one, that would be a bolt-on basically to this, right? I mean, this is standalone. I mean, we can move forward with this without harming the next one.
Yes, each item is designed to be standalone, and as I kind of finish up the presentation and get into the specifics of each item.
No, we probably should handle one at a time.
Good idea.
Okay. This slide shows a summary of this fiscal year that we just closed out. So what our approved general fund use was over $300,000, about $350,000. We actually spent 182, almost 183. So we were over or underspent by 172 and change last fiscal.
I want to pipe in here on that. That's one thing that I really appreciate about our public health department is they always budget for worst case scenario, and most of the time they come in under their budget. And so I appreciate that very much with your department.
Yeah, and for this budget in particular, we're always working on maximizing our targeted case management billing, which I'll talk a little bit more about. And we benefited from that last year. Our nurses did a really great job of ensuring their visits were billable. Not every visit with a family is billable the way that targeted case management works. But they worked really hard to make as many of them billable as we can, and we were showing more revenues in that direction. And that was a big part of where the general fund support change adjusted, along with changes with our having that piece in last year.
Thank you.
Other comments?
No,
Wishes of the board?
wait, she's not done.
I'm not done. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
gonna be a
fine.
long time
You're fine.
here.
No. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Just the way Commissioner Timms asked that question. I thought she was wrapping.
The Rural Health Transformation Funding, this is about just over $303,000 that we can be awarded. This is the primary funding that would be used for the initial startup of NFPX. And what we proposed in the full package to RHTP to OHA, which was approved by CMS, is adding personnel for supervisory support and a CHW. So today, we're just gonna look at the item for the supervisor and a couple of other separate items that I'll explain later how they connect. But the first item that we're gonna talk about is the supervisor position. We're not discussing the CHW position today. The startup fees for NFPX, the NFPX change in fees, that will all be included as an expense for RHTV and eligible and is approved. So our expansion to NFPX is happening regardless of what happens with the supervisor position. Which I think might answer one of your. The next slide just talks about that targeted case management is a service that, or is a billing revenue that will come in that is difficult to project right now. As far as I don't know fully how successful it will be with this proposal of adding these two positions. Adding the supervisor position will overall increase the caseload of how many clients we can see specific to Umatilla County. And then adding a community health worker will also allow for additional billable services and allow for in-home bilingual support, which will hopefully increase the Spanish families that want to enroll in the program. I don't exactly know how this will perform. I was very conservative in what I projected our increased targeted case management. The next slide I'll just go over real briefly.
Now I am confused.
And I know, because I'm presenting it all at once, but then we'll parse them out.
I saw that coming.
Yeah, up the next slide.
Okay.
So supervisor position is part of our HTP funding. If that's something you guys want to move forward with, because that position can increase our caseload, we would be eligible to apply for incentive funding through change in the National Office for NFP, directly related to that FTE that is for increasing caseload. You don't have to do that because that's the piece that requires a 3-year commitment. If we don't move forward with the supervisor position, we obviously won't move forward with the item of discussing the incentive fund application. There'd be some reworking that would need to happen just with the RHTP grant in general. But that is a separate item that's available that can be utilized as an additional revenue source if we want to. The next slide talks about some other revenue sources that we've gone over multiple times before, but I do want to at least confirm McBee is planning to increase our support this next fiscal year, and then there'll be another jump the year after based off of some commitments to increases in caseload that we can make regardless of the supervisor position. That's a caseload that we can still make staffing. So those revenues are still coming in. So the main slide is this next one, which is after reworking some numbers from our last conversation. So basically we know that neither of these positions will actually start on July 1. So adjusting that, I took out the incentive fund revenue so that we didn't plan on that. But we would look at a decrease in general fund ask for this next fiscal year because of those positions not out for the full year. So this next fiscal year is neutral or potentially in the positive direction as planned. The increase really comes in FY28. And one thing that I want to call out with that is that, and both of these numbers include filling both positions. So it's just kind of going for the full intended plan of the RHTP grant. Obviously, all of those numbers would adjust if there's different things that you want to do with that. When we look at FY28 though, this is where the bigger numbers start coming in that I've tried to be very conservative on. I've been very conservative in how I've projected targeted case management revenue. Any of that revenue that we bring in does come with a match. So that increase in FY28, 86,000 of that is due to an increase in match. And if you take out the match from that general fund ask, just for adding these positions, we're looking at about 147, 148 in general fund ask for adding these positions, which RHTP is a $303,000 grant. So we've already started to cover over half of that revenue through other sources, mostly being targeted case management. And then again, that general fund ask could decrease a little bit more with adding the incentive fund piece if we want to go that route. So this is kind of where the rubber meets the road on the numbers. And We did. I'm done now.
Thanks. Alicia, thank you. That was a great presentation. I can start this, or if you guys.
Go ahead. I have, thank goodness, I've been through this already, so
We all have a couple.
I know, multiple times. but
Oh,
try to be
my
really clear
goodness.
and transparent.
No, you're doing a great job.
A great job. Absolutely. Here's my position. In my mind, and I mentioned this several times, is the supervision position. I have no issue with it at all. First of all, I think it's filling a position, and we can argue that back and forth, but I think it's actually filling a position that was vacant. But whether that's the case or not, I'm still, that one way I justify it in my head, that it's out of cycle.
Right.
The others I have reservations about, serious reservation. One is we do not, have not historically participated in programs that fund personnel for 3 years and then have a requirement to fund beyond that. I'm not saying that we wouldn't look at it, but I think that those, in my mind, would definitely have to be in cycle, for sure, especially if it's a general fund obligation, because we already have our budget is set, especially on personnel. So that's where I am overall. Not that I don't think it's an incredibly good program.
So what are you proposing, Commissioner?
I couldn't quite hear what you said.
I said, what are you proposing?
It's up to you guys. I'm just telling you, I would support the supervision position because I think it's filling a position, it's funded, and it falls within all of our guidelines on employees' request. The request for the other 3 positions, one, it's out of cycle. It does affect the general fund, and our budget's set. Not that I would encourage bringing it back.
Do those 3 positions, do they come with funding?
So I believe aside from the supervisor position, there's only one other position you'd be asking for in that. This part.
Okay. So that would be coming with funding.
Yeah, that is built into the RHTP grant for the first year. So the first year of that position is
But not
correct. So that
Following.
number for
Yeah.
FY 28 assumes both positions would be in existence.
So, and I don't want to step on Commissioner Timmons'
No, go
toes,
ahead.
but where I'm coming from is, we've always said if it comes with funding, that's a whole nother, that's separate than a new position with no funding. I'm okay with the ones that come with funding and then come to us in cycle when it is time to get that approved, if that makes sense. I guess I would just make the motion that we say yes to the supervisory position and the one community health worker.
Can't ask for that one yet because there's other.
That's second motion. Second,
It's
okay,
gonna
That's
be
the
a
second one.
separate meeting because
Okay.
that's not built into this.
that's it. Yeah, that's what she said. That's a different discussion.
that's different,
But
okay.
it's within all of what's being proposed and what.
Same program.
Yeah,
Just
same program, same
different
grouping.
conversation.
Yeah, I'm there now.
Yeah, and we'll know more what FY 28 will look like as we get more into this year. And so we'd have better projections, just as each month goes by, we have better projections of what it will look like, and certainly, we'll know if it continues to sustain itself. And
Absolutely.
Okay. I will take back the motion I was getting ready to make then, so.
But the supervisor motion would still be legit.
Are you
Yes.
Are you
But I'll let
talking, wait a
Commissioner
minute.
Timmons talk
Gotcha.
before I say any more.
So where are we at?
That would be the first pinky, the supervisor.
Not the Hermiston Student Health.
We already approved.
We
that.
did
Yeah,
that one.
done.
That one's done.
Okay, so the supervisory position, you're saying yes? Okay. my question is, if you hold off on the other and bring it back when it comes into cycle, are you still going to have the funding?
So if we wait to go for the CHW one until the cycle approval, and then it wouldn't come into play until FY '28, that would adjust what our RHT funding usage is for this year. But we can look at that as an option. The only reason I didn't bring that one forward now is just because that position doesn't exist yet. And so there's other legwork that needs to happen, but this one did, and I'm trying to get this rolling as fast as we can because they want this money spent. And then if you spend your money in your timeline, you're setting yourself up for the success of being able to continue to draw in more.
So we're just talking the supervisor position.
The public health nursing supervisor position for home visiting. Are we actually making a motion on that? It just says discuss.
It should be.
Yep.
It's okay.
I move to approve public health nursing supervisor position for home visiting.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. What's the wishes on the 3-year commitment letter for the incentive fund application?
Did you have a comment on that, Alicia?
I think we commented on it during the presentation, but this is that it's making a commitment to the position, and that we're gonna have a half a FTE extra caseload that we're gonna be serving for 3 years. And that you will match 2/3 of what Change It would pay for. This was merely an application. I don't know that we'd be awarded, but this is the last quarter in which applications would be submitted at the end of September and notified in November.
That's an ongoing program, isn't it?
This is, their incentive fund
Yeah.
is a special offer that they've had last year or so. The next item where we're signing our contract with Change It for NFP, that's our ongoing
Okay.
operational.
This
is the one that makes me nervous.
So at the end of 3 years, that funding goes away.
Yes.
Okay. So during the first 3 years, when they're making contacts and they're doing the job, does that generate revenue coming in?
It does through targeted case management.
Okay. And so would that, if, trying to figure out how to ask this question so that would make sense. Is there a potential for that work to be done to fund the position going forward after 3 years?
That would be the hope, and that's part of how we write the application, is they want to see programs that will sustain themselves after the 3 years. So that would be our hope. And my hope is that the number I'm putting up there for FY '28 is the highest it would ever be, and I'm only going to bring that further down. Because otherwise, yeah, it's not a program that's sustaining itself like it.
But those positions by the grant application, this is just my understanding, so I could be way off base, but those positions have to be continued for a minimum of 3 years after the grant.
Yeah, because Change It's wanting a commitment from the site that's applying that you're going to serve a cohort of clients, and not have a cohort of clients.
And if we're generating revenue, that should be, those 3 years should be okay to fund
Yeah.
the position moving forward.
Yeah, gives us that buffer to build up caseload, to, get a full cohort of people on and be billing.
I approve signing a 3-year commitment letter for incentive fund application.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion. I move. What did I say?
You said you approve.
I approve. I approve it. I move.
I would second the motion.
Then a motion and a second. Further discussion?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those nay, that would be me.
Okay.
Thank you, Alicia.
Yeah, and then the last item is the contract with Change It. Just like, even if nothing with RHTP was happening, this would be coming before you as our typical renewal of our contract with Change It for providing NFP. What is different about it, and part of the discussion or why it's coming before the board, is that it does add the language for being an NFPX site or the expanded eligibility site. And it does include the language that we have one variance to their program, or to their program fidelity model items. So NFP is an evidence-based model, so they have model elements that we need to follow in order to ensure that we get the same outcomes of the original trials and research found. And we have one variation so that they require that all FTEs are a minimum of 0.5 if you're carrying caseload. And we are currently a 2.0 FTE caseload site. We have 3 nurses covering that, 1 full-time, 1 at a 0.6, and 1 at a 0.4. That's so that the staff that are doing it part-time have full 8-hour days dedicated to NFP instead of splitting their days. So my person who's on a 0.4, it required that it got added to our contract, but that's a variance that's been approved.
What's the impact to the general fund?
With this contract renewal, it's just.
It's just
the
an
usual,
MOU,
what we've
isn't it?
always- Yeah, what we've
Yeah.
always done.
Okay.
I move to authorize the board chair to sign the updated Changent NFPX contract.
Second.
And a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Alicia.
you.
Next item is the
Oh, this
Buy
is
a
why,
bridge.
this is why Tom's been hanging out with us.
Buy a Bridge Day.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Fellows, Public Works Director. I should be able to wrap this up by 1 o'clock. So before the board today,
Eastern time.
Public Works went out for requests for modular structure to replace the bridge on Blue Mountain Station Road. We received one qualifying proposal back. It was from Context Engineered Solutions in the amount of $168,800. Just so that you know, Anderson Perry actually helped us write up the request for proposal and to make sure that we had all of our everything in there that covered. We're satisfied that this bridge meets all of our everything that we requested. That's good that the board approved purchase of this bridge.
The only thing I'll say is that when we brought this for the approval to go forward, when talking about when we had that discussion on infrastructure funds and stuff, at that time the estimate was 250. Yeah. So this bridge is coming in
Way below.
way below.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. I would like to make the motion to
Sure.
You should.
approve this expense.
We
Oh,
have a-
Nick has something to say.
Say, we've got a typo in the number on the right there. I think it's 600.
I don't care as long as it's not 26800.
$168,600 is the actual.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
On the left side, it's correct.
Better
On the right
yet.
side, it's wrong.
Yeah, gotcha.
okay.
I will second your motion. Or did you make the motion yet?
I did.
Okay.
I did. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Tom. And thanks for your patience on this bridge too.
Yeah, 1 o'clock straight up.
It may not be garbage, but it sure makes your phone ring.
No, thanks for your patience on it, because this stuff takes time.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Next item, approved payable to Inland Northwest. Go
Automatic.
ahead.
This is just approval of payable to Inland Northwest Musicians for the 4th of July.
Did I miss that? I would move approval.
Second.
Thank you for the hesitation. Well deserved. Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item. Auditor engagement letter. That would be Mr. Jensen. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jason Jensen, Umatilla County CFO. Before you is engagement letter from our auditors.
I would move to authorize the board to sign an engagement letter with Anderson, Boylan, Ramos, PC.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Jason. And good luck with the audit. Quick question to Nick. Can we turn this into a consensus agenda for the next 5 items?
I think we could probably,
If not, that's fine. We can roll through it.
I think for purposes of Kelsey's minutes, let's just roll through.
Okay.
So first one we got before you, there's a note on this one. So this is the contract with Eli Youngman for the fair. The authorization will be for the board to sign it. We do not have a final contract on this. Attached is a red line, but we're getting so close to fair that what I would request from the board is that the board authorize the chair to sign both the red line and the contract when we get it back. So we don't have to bring it back before the board on August 5th to try and get it signed right before fair.
So moved.
Okay.
Been a motion and a second. Oh,
Oh, second.
been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Also, before Tom gets too far away, did he leave the contract here with you for the bridge? Because you needed to get that back.
I thought it was attached there for your signature.
Can you look? I promised him
I thought you did sign it.
the contract.
I thought it was there, the contact documents were there for your signature.
Did you use it already?
We did look.
Okay. All right. I'm good then.
I told him I'd email.
Okay. Next item is the ORCAL for parking.
Yeah, you signed it.
Okay.
Parking services for the fair and the mountain.
Move approval.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next one, I believe, is ticket scanning services for the same company, in the amount of $6,720.45.
Move approval.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next one.
Tents. The amount of $36,112.50.
We got a $6,000 saving over last year. New vendor, less space, the new building held it. I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item, portable restroom rentals.
We attach this, not $20,000 restrooms, portable restrooms.
I do want to point out that this is a new company with a substantial savings over the last few years. Not that the old one, they had a good service too. I'll move for approval.
Second.
And a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now we're down to the DD payable.
Yep, DD payable in the amount of $22,500.
I would move approval, and I would also note that these funds do not come from general fund dollars. They come from the state or pass-through dollars. With that, I'd make the motion for approval.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Final item on the agenda is the RF. No, it's,
You're close.
Real estate.
real estate, the RFP for the real estate agent.
And this is authorization from the board to go out for an RFP for a real estate agent for tax foreclosed properties that is required by statute now.
And just to point out, you're looking for 3 for each area of the county.
I'm not sure because we started this process.
I think that would be true.
By law, if the property is located in a residential. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, the intent is to have an agent for the 3 areas of the county.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And one last thing for the board, or just a comment, I guess, for me, on the NFP contract, that's not, it's just a contract with change.
Okay.
So it does have some numbers in there, if it's of concern to the board. Just one of which.
Okay.
That was my
Thank you.
comment. Thank you for pointing that out. Final comments, Commissioner Timmons?
Nothing.
Done for me.
The only one I have is congratulate Savvy for their
Mm-hmm.
groundbreaking, and I don't know, I'm still gonna try and make it over there. But I think that's all a great economic development sign when you have multiple industries in the same bandwidth locating in your areas is
Absolutely.
incredible, and the number that continue to look in the support industries is
For sure.
the comments. Meeting adjourned.